From its beginning, the La Crosse Public Education Foundation has provided educators with the opportunity to seek grants to spur innovation and support important initiatives in our schools. Gold Star grants are awarded in April and December, with extra grants provided in response to special circumstances. These recipients truly deserve a Gold Star. We won't have time to recognize all of them here, but we will highlight those supported by our sponsors. First is a grant supported by our presenting sponsor, Festival Foods. This is the largest single grant ever awarded by LPEF and is supporting the purchase of wireless microphone headsets for nearly every middle school and high school teacher to help teachers and students hear each other in our blended learning environment. This grant was awarded to Zing Lee, Lila Panafsky, and Jill Emmerich on behalf of a team of secondary school educators. Fowler and Hammer is the sponsor of a grant to support virtual field experiences for students and teachers in our middle schools, replacing traditional field trips that are on hold due to the pandemic. The author of this grant is Tim Sprain, Science Content Coordinator for secondary schools. As the Salute to Educators sponsor, Fowler and Hammer also is helping us honor 4 educators who retired last spring, starting with former Superintendent of Schools Randy Nelson. A major equity, diversity, and inclusion grant was awarded in October in honor of Randy. This grant went to 7th grade social studies teachers Jeannie Halderson, Christina Fenton, and Scott Bagnevsky, and it supports the purchase of new textbooks that will help students think globally and act locally. Rhonda McGowan, Katie Byer, and Carrie Marcos received a grant to provide busing for upper-level Spanish students at Logan High to spend a day with college Spanish students at UW-La Crosse. The grant was awarded in honor of Sandra Brower, who retired as principal at Northwoods. Kate Keeney at Logan High received a grant to buy books and blankets for students with reading skills below grade level. The grant was awarded in honor of Lynn Halverson, the retired supervisor of school nutrition. Finally, Brittany Keach at State Road received a grant for a subscription service that delivers diverse books each month. This grant was awarded in honor of Kathy Wilhelmy, who retired as a kindergarten teacher at State Road. Ultra Federal Credit Union was the sponsor of 2 grants this past year. First is a grant that will bring a photographer to Northside Elementary, Cooley Montessori, this spring to teach skills to students and to take family portraits. The grant went to Beth Hartung, Amarina Rathke, and Laura Huber. A second grant sponsored by Ultra will allow the purchase of floor mats for 150 students in Cooley Montessori classrooms. The grant was awarded to Sarah Jorgensen. Jen Speckine at Hamilton Elementary received a grant to buy books to integrate reading into the study of mathematics for K-2 students. Her grant was sponsored by Cooley Bank. DAIRYLAND Power sponsored a grant awarded to Chris Markworth at Hinchin Elementary. She is buying multicultural books, 1 for each student to take home to read and keep. Given the events of the past year, LPEF was pleased to offer a special round of grants awarded in October to help the district address equity, diversity, and inclusion efforts. The Franciscan Sisters of Perpetual Adoration sponsored one of the major grants, which was awarded to Matt Kitzero and staff at Longfellow Middle School, helping all of the staff participate in a 3-day racial justice workshop facilitated by the YWCA. Students at Central High School and Longfellow Middle School helped raise awareness of inequities faced by many young women in our schools. As a result, Anna Goldbeck, the extraordinary executive assistant in the district's Buildings and Grounds Department, helped pull together a proposal to buy dispensers and supplies to provide free feminine hygiene products in every girl's bathroom in the middle schools and high schools. An LPEF grant, sponsored by Gillette and Associates, provided a major kickstart for the project. Gunderson Health System is the sponsor of a grant for Carrie Winch Harden at Hamilton. Each class will get a copy of the book, All Because You Matter, by Tammy Charles, and students will write their own stories about what makes each one of them special. Those essays will be compiled into a book for each class. Meg Medina, a Cuban-American author who writes powerful stories to help young people make sense of their lives, will get a chance to visit La Crosse schools next year, in large part to a grant sponsored by Independent Cycle and ATV. LPEF is fortunate to have a long and strong partnership with Mayo Clinic Health System, which sponsored 2 major grants this year, including supporting the Fall Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion grants. One grant goes to Jane Erickson and Tanya LaFleur, who provide support to the 10 sites throughout the district where pre-kindergarten students are introduced to school. Their grant will allow the purchase of books and other materials to help children learn basic concepts of tolerance and acceptance. A second grant sponsored by Mayo goes to Becky Lewick at Southern Bluffs, who will prepare bags with books specially selected to help students and families who are coping with tough topics such as divorce, grief and loss, diversity, gender identity, and more. Modern Crane Service is sponsoring a grant that will allow Northwoods and State Road Elementary Schools to host a special series of Kindness Week activities as students return to classes next fall. Jordan Stacy and Mindy Court at Hamilton Elementary are buying books on high-interest subjects that will help their students who are reading below grade level. This grant is sponsored by More Smiles. State Bank Financial is the sponsor of a grant for Kelly Jo Klein at Logan High. She's buying books that promote diversity to be used in a program that matches high school students to serve as a guest reader in elementary classrooms. Finally, TRUSTPOINT is the sponsor of a grant that is providing Logan High students with the opportunity to connect virtually with native-speaking coaches from Spain, Cuba, Argentina, Guatemala, and other Spanish-speaking countries. This grant went to Carrie Marcos, Cassie Tolstead, Rhonda McGowan, and Katie Byer. We are very grateful to all of our sponsors for helping make these Gold Star grants possible. In addition, we want to thank the people who have created several special endowment funds that provide grant funding every year, including the late Richard Swanson and his wife Judy, as well as Rachel Gunderson and many others. Please refer to the printed program for details on all of the grants awarded during the past year, or go to our website, lacrosseeducationfoundation.org. And congratulations to all of our grant recipients.